Welcome to Horrors Yet Unseen, the podcast where we assign each other horror movies to watch and then talk about it so our spouses don't have to listen to us go on and on and on about scary stuff they don't like. I'm Zach.
And I'm Steve. Let's talk about some scary movies. By the way, there will absolutely be spoilers in this show. You have been warned. Welcome to the podcast, Zach.
Yes, welcome, Steve.
We are professional podcasters.
We are something.
Ah, boy. Yeah, so we're trying to do this live, sort of, right?
Yeah, it feels weird.
Do we feel that, but do we like let people see behind the curtain?
I'm fine with that. I'm not going to gatekeep that. At the end of the day, it did feel weird to hear the intro music and not just jump into a random space, because that's typically how we've done it.
Yeah.
So you were like, welcome, Zach. And I'm like, oh no, what do I say? I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Because typically we're like already talking and then you hit the record button and we're already just going to town, you know?
Yeah. Go to town.
So, yeah.
Well, I thought we could take this opportunity to, you want to tease some upcoming stuff?
Yeah, great.
Wait, this is, I think by this one where it's going to be coming out the 9th. So,
yeah, what are we teasing? I don't know.
The awards.
Oh, the awards. Yeah, we got an awards coming up.
Award show.
So, yeah, it's called The Turdies. So that basically many moons ago, Steve.
Many moons ago.
Yeah, many moons ago, we talked about, or we coined a phrase for a movie that was so bad it was not deserving of any stars.
Right.
And that rating is called the Smoking Hot Turd. And so we thought it'd be funny if we had an award show at the end of the year capturing the both the best and the worst parts of all of the movies that we've watched, and all of the movies that have just come out. And the award show is called the award is called The Turdies. I did have AI come up with an image. It's awesome, and I love it. And I genuinely want this trophy to be made. Like, I want to buy a 3D printer and like get a 3D rendering. And
Noah just got a 3D printer. He just bought one. It's amazing.
Dude,
so
we got to get this thing made.
Yeah.
Because I would love to have a desk toy that is the Turdy.
The Turdy Award.
The Turdy Award. I think it'd be great. Yeah. We can get some gold filament or whatever and
sure.
And create that idol so that we can go to hell. And
well, you saw don't call it an idol.
It is an idol at the end of the day, Steve. I want it to be an idol. I want it to be an idol. Also for the joke. It's just for the joke because
well, may it be on your head.
Wow. Okay.
Well, not turdies on your head.
Well,
I mean,
you're going to hell for different reasons, buddy. So we'll both be there at the end of the day.
Maybe that's why we like horror movies.
That's exactly why. Because everyone in a horror movie goes,
what's it going to be like?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Just watch Terrifier 3 and you'll find out exactly.
Oh boy. I haven't seen a lot. I still haven't watched that yet.
Gosh, you got to get on. Anyway, yeah, that's coming up at the end of the year. We've not talked about specifically when. I'm assuming that we will record that, and that will be the last episode of the year.
So we can start season 2.
Yes, season 2. You also did spring that on me that this is season 1.
Sure.
And why not?
Like
Because
10
why
minutes
not?
ago.
And exactly. And so I like that idea of having seasons. So yeah, look out.
It's a good
season
opportunity
2.
to just kind of switch things up a bit if we want to, or whatever.
Exactly. And explore other options as far as different hosts. Steve might swap me out with somebody else. What? I will definitely swap Steve out with somebody else. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. That'd be terrible. It's not a bad idea though to like sub out, have other people on. We should totally have the You Run podcast on here.
Oh yeah, we were on theirs.
We were on
we
theirs in
threatened to have
season
them on.
1. Huh?
We threatened to have them on.
We
never actually did
it.
Yeah, we're like, we should have you guys on our podcast. I'm like, sure. Or
Yeah,
actually, what they say, like, sounds
Crikey!
good, mate. Crikey. Governor.
This is a knife. Is that what they said?
Country.
Oh yeah, that's my point. It's like, who cares?
Gotta be a northerner.
Yeah. Yeah. That's ridiculous. Just confuse them for someone in Australia. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
same. At the end of the day, you're not in the United
Australia,
States. It's fine.
You know,
exactly. Perth, forget it. Who cares?
Yeah.
London, they're all the same.
They're not real anyway.
Yeah, they're all Lord of the Rings. At the end of the day, it's all Lord of the Rings characters and cities. America, baby.
Oh, okay. Well. Anyway,
okay.
Yeah. We had. I'm looking at the show notes, Zach.
Yes.
And I'm really want to know what your theory about the Speak No Evil is.
Great. I watched the original a while back.
Yep.
I thought it was great. I mean, technically, I only gave it like a mid rating, whatever. It was shocking. Then the second one came out, and I watched it this past week.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some differences, and I wrote them down. And I don't know where I wrote them down, but I did write them down. And where did I write them down? Yay! Okay, they're literally right here. Okay. So in the first movie, the mistake that the people make seems to be that they are too nice.
Yeah.
So they have a clear opportunity.
Trying to be too, quote unquote, polite.
Exactly. They have a clear opportunity to get away. But instead of not subjecting their daughter to any sort of therapy that she would need in life, mm-hmm. they chose to give her to another family. And which there is no recovery from that.
Wait,
because they went back for the bunny. Okay, they went back for the rabbit.
Oh, right.
They went back for the rabbit, and they're suspicious, but they're too nice and literally get walked all over. So that way, when you get to the end of the movie and they ask, "Why are you doing this to us?" and he says, "Because you let us." Like, it is a gut-punching, realistic moment.
Yeah.
That same line is said in the second one, and it does not have any sort of luster at all. There is no gravity, no heaviness to this at all. And
interesting.
It's crazy. Also in the first one, the dad goes off wandering at night and finds this picture room where he pieces together that they've been stealing kids this entire time. Mm-hmm. In the second one, by the way, I don't know if do you want me to spoil this?
Sure.
I'm just going to town on this movie, but I realized that you've not seen it.
I mean,
I know that we just said that there will be spoilers, but I also don't want to be that guy.
Well, thank you for your consideration, but I'm good.
Okay, great. You should still see this movie because it's not a bad movie, actually. It's not the story. This story is pretty good. I still don't entirely understand, other than money, why they remade it. But so in the first one, the dad goes wandering, finds a picture room, realizes they're stealing kids. In the second one, the boy that has his his almost a different word. His tongue cut out.
Right.
His tongue cut out shows the little girl, like, "Hey, come over here." So you remember that scene in the trailer?
He shows his mouth, right?
Yeah. You remember the scene
happen in the first one, doesn't it? I'm sorry, never do.
I think so, but
Go ahead,
it's in a different context.
Okay.
So in the trailer, there is a moment when they're all sitting outside of that picnic table and he is making his son dance. Remember that in the
Right.
trailer?
Mm-hmm. It's really creepy.
Right after that moment, the son, the boy, takes the little girl into like the basement barn or
Okay.
the barn basement
Right. Right.
and shows her this room with all of this luggage
Mm.
and
Oh, okay. That's how they find
all
it.
of the and shows her this book, this family photo album book, and is like, and he's basically pointing because he can't talk. He's pointing, he's like, hey, here's my family.
Yeah.
Here's this other kid. And then he flips the page. Here's that girl. Here's that other kid and her family. And here's the person before her. And he flips the page. And so she then takes pictures on her cell phone and shows them to her parents. And that's how they realize that this family is not great.
Hmm.
That's a complete deviation from the first one.
It's weird.
It's basically the difference between, okay, I'm going to be honest with you. It's the difference between writing smart characters, like logical thinking characters, and characters who are just kind of along for the ride. So the first movie, I'm talking about this way too much, but
That's fine.
the first movie, the character, the reason it's a gut punch. Why are you doing this to us? Because you will let us. Is because the characters don't make logical decisions. They're too nice and they give too many benefits of the doubt. But in the American version, the character,
Like they clearly allowed it to happen. You mean?
Yeah,
like they could have avoided it.
They could have made better choices. Like they could have, whatever. They could have been written that way, but they weren't. And I think that was a good idea for them to give benefits of the doubt and whatever. But then there's this other way to look at it where what if the characters did make some different choices and were presented with the same information, but just in a different way, how would they react? So both of these movies can live in the same world.
Yep.
Our world, but view it as different timelines. Here's what happens if this goes on. Here's what happens if that goes on. It's because they're basically shot for shot remakes, or it's a basically shot for shot remake. So the way that I viewed it was like, oh, this is just an alternate reality. Like the same thing is happening, but just in a different way. And spoiler alert, like in the first one, the bad guys win. But in the new one, the good guys win.
Well, America.
Because America. And yeah. So
and as we mentioned, like I read about how the director, writer of the original film was kind of upset about that.
When I watched the first one, I thought it was a really decent movie. But then I watched the second one and it's still a decent movie. I don't think that it's bad at all. Okay. I don't think that the way that it ended took anything away. It was odd that they still used the same line. Like it didn't matter to me. You know.
So was it kind of like if this movie had been the only movie ever called Speak No Evil, it would have been okay.
Yeah, it still would have been just fine.
It's the comparison story, of The Thief of Joy.
Yeah, it's still a good movie. Both movies are worth the ratings that they're getting. It's more of a choose your own adventure at this point. Do you want to watch this movie or do you want to watch that movie? But I've viewed them as just alternate realities.
Okay.
So here's this one from 2017 or 2018 or whatever it is. And then here's this new one from 2024. It's basically the exact same story told just a little off center, told just a little differently. And here's how it pans out. Logically, here's how it pans out. So, but the story is not bad. They didn't tear apart the story, do too much
Okay.
to the acting is still really great. You got to have
Yeah.
subtitles on in the first one. You don't have to have them on in the second one. Like there are small little variations, but it's not bad.
Oh, good. That's good to know.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie. I
It
did
seems to be
skip half
pretty
of it though
popular.
because like I didn't need to watch the first part. I know what happens because I saw the first one. I'm like, I
Right.
want to see from halfway
Oh,
on,
okay.
and so yeah,
Mostly because you heard the ending was so different, or
because I heard the ending was different. So I was like, I'm gonna watch at least halfway through and on. And I just hit the 10-second skip until I got about halfway. And it's basically a shot for shot remake, same kind of premise. And so, there you go. So yeah, that's
cool.
my theory is that this it's just alternate realities. I have nothing to back that up. It was just a thought that I had while watching the second one.
Okay.
And end of rant.
Different.
Yeah. It's too long.
Yeah.
I
So
talk way too long.
the Speaking of Evil, like the remake in 2024, looking on Letterbox, it's pretty. It's like a 3.3, right? So, which is relatively good for
Yep.
for Letterbox standards, anyhow. So that's interesting. Cool. Well, maybe I'll watch it when I get a chance. I was kind of avoiding it because everybody's like, "Oh, it's so bad." But yeah, I mean,
It's
if Zach says it's good, it's
it's not
probably great.
if you like the first one,
Yeah.
you will more than likely like the second one. But you just simply I think you need to go into it understanding like okay, back up. I think if you went into it understanding that what I'm watching is a more of a what if this happened instead?
Oh, okay.
It's then you won't be like
Yeah,
shockingly disappointed when it turns out that it's different from the original.
I gotcha.
What
It's
if
a mindset thing.
what would happen if the good guys won instead of the bad guys? And
Mm-hmm.
then watch the movie, and it will have a natural progression, and you won't be disappointed, and you'll be able to objectively watch it instead of be tainted by this is a remake, this is unnecessary, this is stupid, other
Right.
people's
But here's
crapping all over it.
the important thing I want to know: do they make them get naked and throw stones at them at the end?
Not even a little bit.
Oh, come on! I'm not
Now,
watching it now.
in that, again, I like the first one over the second one because you don't see very many, and maybe I'm just not paying attention, and that is a that's the truth. I'm not paying attention. Yeah,
Yeah.
Where the bad guy wins. Like you rarely see that. Good always kind of prevails. The final girl always triumphs, kind of thing. So the fact that there is this movie where these people are led on from the very get-go and they get stoned at the end of the freaking movie is such a jaw-dropping kind of thing, and that to me makes it a good psychological horror movie.
Yeah. Well, the good people not winning at the end. If that you're clearly not watching the same horror movies I'm watching.
I know
just
that.
had this conversation with Christy about how she's like, okay, if you want me to watch scary movies with you, they've got to be movies that like are happier at the end. Like it's a horror movie.
Yeah, it's a horror movie. You go through hell, you go
Yeah.
through this gigantic nightmare, and come out bloody on the other side. But typically, yeah, that's about how it happens every time. Not every horror movie is as peaceful an ending as maybe like Gerald's Game, to where
Yeah.
it's a full.
See, she liked that one. We watched that one.
Yeah, it's because it's basically like here's how she turned her life around. Here's how she used
Right.
her trauma for positive. Here she started a charity. She started this. She went and confronted her demons. Like
Hmm.
and then she walked off into the sunset like it's a like a freaking western movie.
Yeah, like
And
literally.
exactly. And not everyone's like that. Some people are, you know, barely escaping by the skin of their teeth, jumping in the back of a pickup truck while some dude in a chainsaw and a human face mask is chasing them down the road
Hmm.
and swinging that chainsaw wildly. Like that's typically every horror movie. So
Right.
sorry,
So and
Christy, you're probably not going to get what you want.
well, like she liked the others a lot, and that's kind of a positive ending, you know.
Yeah.
And I actually I had this epiphany the other day that kind of aligns with what we're talking about. I realized that with a couple of tone shifts, maybe a little bit different, like music, maybe slightly darker lighting at points, all of the Indiana Jones movies are horror movies.
For real.
They really are. I mean, dude's face is melting, you know, and pulling hearts out of the chest. It's still thumping, and
Mm.
um, like, and the I mean, the third one they're like fighting the Nazis, and it's like they're all horror movies. But
With the tone shift, they are all horror movies. Wow.
like, I mean, they like the plot, the things that happen. It's all horror movies, except for the fact. And I brought this up to Christy. She's like, well, she's like, except for the fact that they all are happy at the end. They all like resolve, and like there's a positive, you know, outcome. And like, well, okay,
Yeah.
but it's I think that the things that like the elements of horror movies, so the scary bits, the unknown, like this the thrilling parts of it, they're really in a lot of movies. But what makes it feel like a horror movie? Like the second Indiana Jones definitely feels like a horror movie in a lot of ways. I mean, that's the movie scared me when it came out when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's the heart. He pulled the
The
heart out.
heart, and he like the like that point where she's like reaching through that hole with like millions of just giant insects all over the place,
Yeah.
eating monkey brains, um, like blood sacrifices all over the place,
Yeah, if they're throwing
children
people in
in
volcanoes, yeah.
slavery, yeah, crocodiles. I mean, anyway.
Yeah.
So I think people like
Yeah,
horror movies a
wow.
lot more than they realize.
Mm.
It's just if it's called an adventure movie or action movie or a thriller, that they don't think about it.
Who would have thought that Indiana
Yeah,
Jones is a horror movie? Okay, well,
yeah.
mind blown.
Mind blown.
Yeah. Wow.
Um, one thing I want to mention real quick is just because it blew my mind a little bit, and I'm not sure in a good way. Insidious, they're doing an Insidious stage play.
What?
Yeah, it's called Insidious: The Further You Fear, and it's touring the entire nation. It's going to be in. It looks like it's starting in Arkansas in January.
A
Because why
live
wouldn't you
horror
start in
experience.
Arkansas? And then it's going all over Michigan, Ohio. It's going to go to Cleveland for a couple days, and Tennessee. It's coming to Colorado, New York, everywhere, California, and it's you should watch the trailer. It's interesting. I don't know. They're like it's an immersive experience and all this stuff, but it's like I don't know how they're going to really do that.
Yeah, how are you getting the mezzanine? How are you getting the mezzanine in the immersive horror
Yeah, I
experience?
don't know. I mean,
Main floor front, main floor rear, fine. How are you getting
right.
the balconies involved?
Well, so I look up. I'm like, that's what I'm thinking. So I'm like, this might be kind of, interesting, fun to see.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, buy tickets now. And the closer, like the front section at the theater in Denver, $136 per ticket.
Dang, bro.
Like the nosebleeds are $51.
Yeah, see, I'm going front row main. So if I want to go see it in Columbus, and I
Or
click on the
Cleveland.
link,
Oh, Cleveland's not. You can't buy them.
Cleveland, I
Not
can't do
yet.
that. I
Yeah.
can't do that yet. Front row main is 6613 to 102.43, which is not bad for a theater experience.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, the theater they're showing it in Denver is like this big giant fancy thing. So
Yeah, the rear balcony is the cheapest. That's where you can't see anything at all. And you're just staring at the murals on the ceiling and the gold architecture
yeah,
of yeah,
filigrees.
exactly. Yeah, that's $53.03.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they would go 3 cents. That's pretty wild. But you got to make your money. These are all weird prices. 78.23, 66.13. Like, what's happening?
I don't know, somebody applied a tax to it or something weird.
Round up. Just round up, bro. Don't go and 3 cents. Okay, well, I'll have to watch the trailer, and I'm not gonna watch it now, but I'm also not gonna go see this.
No, I'm not either.
I have no interest in any of that. That's like going to a theater for Terrifier 3 and be like, oh yeah, there's people passing out and fainting. I'm like, quit interrupting the movie. Yeah. Also, I do like the TikTok videos who are like, I'm taking my grandma to go see this movie. I'm like, you're a psychopath. Anyway.
That's mean.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, Insidious, The Further You Fear.
And what's the National Treasure Da Vinci Code crossover?
Dude, okay. So Brad and I were at lunch on Friday.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And he went to see the movie Conclave.
Oh, okay.
And
what's it about?
I said it's about choosing the next pope. Like literally the entire plot is them choosing the next pope. But there's controversy. There's controversy. And I said, and I was sitting across from him and I said, how could they make a movie about, or no, he said, I was wondering how they would make a movie about choosing the next pope. Like, how would they make that interesting? And I said, you bring in Tom Hanks as Robert Langdon and Nicolas Cage as whoever that guy is, and you make a National Treasure / Da Vinci Code crossover where they have to find this and do that and go through all these clues in order to elect the next pope. And I was like, so blown away by my own idea that I was like, this movie, how does this movie not exist? This movie has to exist where we at some point get Nicolas Cage and Tom Hanks to reprise their role and cross over a National Treasure / Da Vinci Code movie where they're hunting for clues. I need this crossover to happen. And I was so excited about it that I literally right there in Old Carolina Barbecue opened up my phone and put it in the show notes because I was like, I need to talk to Steve about this.
That's
because
awesome.
those are great movies. Those are great clue hunting movies. And I think it'd be great to, have them start separately where blah, blah, blah. And then, Nicholas has to go to Rome and he bumps into Robert and they're both doing this thing. I think or Robert.
Do you think it'd be like a buddy cop situation? Like
I would love that.
Like I could see like Nicolas Cage being kind of like the freewheeling goofy guy. Because his character, if I remember, a bit like that. But like Robert Langdon is super like studious and like, let's figure it out. And Nicolas Cage is like, let's just go break in and take it.
Exactly. And I think, I think it'd be great. I think we just did it. We did it, people. That's it.
Yeah.
This is the last podcast. We did it.
The Oscar is being molded for us right now.
I know. I'm so excited. I've always wanted one. By always, I mean like I don't want one at all. But well, anyway, that was literally the idea, and now we're done. Okay, there it is.
Thank you for sharing that. That's I'm glad that I can say I knew you when.
yeah. This is the moment. So when that movie hits theaters in 2031, I want you to know that this is the moment. This is the moment that it all happened. Somebody stole my idea.
Let's move on to what we watched this week. Ready?
Fantastic. Let's go.
Why don't you take it away, Zach?
I will definitely take it away, Steve. So this week, I feel like I let everyone down.
Oh,
I did not get around to watching two of the movies on my horror movie marathon list. I know I'm so distraught. I didn't get around to watching As Above, So Below, and I didn't get around to watching The New Nightmare. I will get around to that. I will make it.
You've not seen The New Nightmare?
So last year I wanted to go through. Last year was the first year for Slasher September, and I went through all of the classics. So all of the Friday the 13th, all of the Halloween movies, and all of the Nightmare movies. And I think it was in that order. Friday the 13th, Halloween, and then Nightmare. But I didn't make it past Nightmare 3. So I did not get to New Nightmare.
Okay.
No. But those were supposed to be watched last week. I will get around to watching them though.
Cool.
But I did watch other movies instead. And I'm realizing now that I put way too many movies on here. So I watched Speak No Evil, the new Speak No Evil. I watched Mr. Crockett. Dude.
What'd you think of that?
Mr. Crockett is fantastic.
Dude, isn't it though?
It's so good. A good. No, it's okay. In the very last part of that where she was like bound up by that puppet.
Yeah.
One of the teeth is bending. Like it got caught on the one of the and it's bent. And it's funny. And the clock that is like, Nightmare Pee Wee Herman clock is it's clear that it's some silicone puppet. Like it's very clear in this movie. So it's not scary, but that added a level of just like, yeah, these are clearly practical effects. They're not CG at all. And I was the character development was great. I thought
I thought Mr. Crockett was legitimately scary.
Mr. Crockett was legitimately scary.
Yeah, and I thought it was unique in a lot of ways.
It was.
And it also has the appropriate amount of tropes in the right order, But.
Of course. Yeah. I loved it. I don't need more, even though technically they left the movie on a cliffhanger. Yeah. I don't need more. So if the movie didn't have a second one, I would kind of be fine with where they left the movie for your imagination to kind of take over. But I thought it was pretty great.
Cool.
Because I grew up watching all of that stuff. Like I grew up watching Barney. I grew up watching Sesame Street. Like so the callbacks for that type of stuff was pretty great. But yeah, Mr. Crockett, fantastic. Buy the popcorn bucket. I think I rated it 4.5. Yeah. It's fantastic. I watched all three Simon Pegg, Nick Frost movies.
Oh, okay.
So I watched Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End.
Yeah.
And I realized watching The World's End, like, these might be some of my favorite movies. Just to like let some time go by and not watch them, and then all of a sudden just go back to back to back, or just pick one and just watch it. Because they're basically the same cast. Right. And
I did think that the third one was a bit derivative. It was kind of a little bit of the same. Too much, sure.
They did change Nick Frost's character into a more serious but yeah, technically, because in the first two, he's this complete doof.
Right.
And in the third one, he's a kind of a serious character until he does break out of his shell. I don't mind that though. I was
Sure.
completely just watching them mindless, and yeah. So I watched all three of those. I watched the movie Carved, which is
Carved.
yeah, Carved, C
Is
A
about
R
is
V
that
E
about the
D.
mom from the Thanksgiving movie?
Oh my gosh, no, no, that's good. That's a good joke. Where's the rim shot when you needed it? You gave it to me a while. You gave me that rim shot a while ago, but when we
Sorry.
were not recording, there it is. Boom. There you go, dude. So, yeah, I watched the movie Carved. So there was a Hulu short a
Mhm.
while ago called Carved,
Hmm.
and it's about this boy who gets this really ugly pumpkin and he carves it up, and
Oh, okay.
mayhem ensues from there. Then they made a full length movie in 2024 for this short that Hulu had. It is a Hulu original. So don't go into it
And
expecting
Mr.
it's going to
Crockett is
be,
as well, by the way.
yes, don't go into it expecting it to be this amazing movie. But it wasn't bad. I was thoroughly entertained from start to finish. Uh
Cool.
4.5. It's a good,
Really?
get the
How good?
popcorn bucket. It's a good movie.
Dude.
Hulu's taking our money and using it well. I mean, way to go, Disney.
Yeah,
But
I'll give it a shot. Add that to my list.
maybe 4.5 is a bit aggressive. But anyway,
Yeah.
what else did I watch? I watched the movie Don't Move on
Don't move.
Netflix.
Okay.
So it's
Look
about
that up.
this. It just came out. It's
Mhm.
about this girl who gets drugged by this guy, and
Ugh,
she has like 20
sorry.
minutes until her body is completely immobile, and
Oh, that sounds frightening.
havoc ensues from there. Okay.
I mean, it sounds frightening.
Uh-huh. It does sound frightening. It does sound frightening. It is produced by Sam Raimi, so you
Okay.
have
Yeah.
you have some Sam Raimi kind of camera
Yeah.
shots and whatnot in there. I think I rated this movie 2 stars.
Yeah.
It's a movie.
Right.
I was not impressed, but I also did not think that it was a garbage movie. I watched it, and that was it. I probably won't watch it again, but
Okay.
at least I watched it once. Yeah, I wanted to watch Azrael, but I didn't get a chance to watch that. Apparently, that movie is no dialogue,
Yeah.
which I
They
don't
didn't.
think that I realized. But it says it in the freaking trailer too. Like I
Yeah.
watched the
Yeah.
trailer and it's like, hey, when the rapture happens, no one can speak, and I'm like, well, that's weird. But well, why can't you talk in the rapture? I don't understand.
That is available on Shutter now, by the way.
Yeah. I started to
I
watch it.
didn't
I got
realize
through
that.
the opening crawl and I had to go to the bathroom. I don't know what happened. Something happened. I don't know. Yeah. I think that's basically it.
That's cool.
I wanted to watch Woman of the Hour. I didn't get around to watching that.
Christy and I are gonna watch that today, I think.
I wanted to watch Lisa Frankenstein.
Mm.
Didn't get around to watching that.
You like that one? That's fun.
I wanted to watch Cuckoo. Didn't get around to watching that. There's a bunch of movies, but hey, we got time.
Yeah,
we got time. Plenty of time. So yeah.
Somebody asked me recently, they're like, if you're doing 2 movies every week, how do you expect to, like, are you going to run out of movies? I'm like,
no.
You have no idea.
No. There's so many movies. So many. Oh, and then I watched TheCell. Yeah. And then I watched TheCell.
Okay.
But we will talk about that later.
Anyway,
that's all the movies that I watched. And it's surprising that I started this off with, I'm sorry I didn't get around to watching those 2 movies, and then named 14 other freaking movies that I watched.
Yeah, it's all movies. Yeah, I'll let it slide.
So yeah, I don't entirely know why I didn't get around to watching these 2 movies, other than because I did watch a substantial amount this week. But you know, life throws you
Life happens.
curveballs, and you know, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. I don't know.
Yeah, do a little Keanu Reeves thing.
That's it. Just do a little Keanu Reeves. Anyway, what movies did you watch?
I watched. First one is not a scary movie, not a horror movie. It's called Gentlemen Broncos, and it is hilarious.
Is this that uh yeah, I think
Sure.
I think I know exactly.
Oh my holy crap! So okay, if it's written, directed, etc., by the same dudes who did Napoleon Dynamite, it's like it's. I swear it's the same universe as Napoleon Dynamite.
Is
It
this that
feels
movie within a movie like
there is a movie within in the movie. Yes,
what who's the main character or who's one of the
S-
characters in the movie? I
Sam
can't think of his
Rockwell.
name. Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, yeah. So it's got Jermaine Clement,
Yes.
Jennifer Coolidge, and some other folks that are kind of new folks I don't recognize. The main character, I've not seen him in anything. Michael Anthony Angarano.
Okay.
He's been in a bunch of stuff. He's been like Oppenheimer and so forth, but I just don't recognize him.
He was in
But
Barbiehammer?
just the Hummer part, not the Barbie part.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah. But Gentleman Bronco, it's about this kid who he goes to like a science fiction writers retreat sort of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and Jermaine Clement is this famous writer, Ronald Chevalier.
Okay.
His voice in the movie is so funny, but he has written the kid has written this science fiction story, and throughout the movie they have it's like it transitions over to like him reading, somebody will be reading from his book, and it'll clip over to like a movie version of that scene or whatever.
Got it. Yeah.
But and he turns this the manuscript in as part of a contest, and Chevalier reads the book, and he steals it and makes it his own. That's like all in the trailer.
Yeah.
But and it's so funny, and it's everybody in the whole movie is a bit odd, which is kind of like
Of course.
Napoleon Dynamite. But I mean, it's on Prime, and it's so funny, really good movie. Did I mention it's funny? Because I may have mentioned it's funny.
You did mention it. It was funny. Yes.
And then I watched Strange Darling.
Ooh, what did you think of that?
So impressed by that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty good, right?
good movie. Although I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
There's
But
no spoilers at the beginning of this.
I understand.
episode,
But this one I don't want to do that.
Mm,
However,
I want to
Christy-
talk about it, so I don't care.
okay, well, we talk about it then. But Christy figured out the whole plot basically from the trailer. This is why I can't watch movies with her.
Dude, did she share that with you before you watched the movie?
I had already watched the movie.
Okay.
I'm like, "Hun, I think you'd like this. It's just like it's got a great twist." And she's like, "Is she the killer?" I'm like, "Ah,
Dang it. That's
Just
hilarious.
yeah." But I mean, the way I thought, even if you figure that out, even if you've been spoiled by me just now, the way that this film like presents the story is fascinating. It's because it's like 6 chapters and like a end thing, but it doesn't do it in linear form.
Nope.
It like bounces around, and it's
Yeah.
it's interesting because it's like it basically gaslights you half the time, but because it makes you totally think that she's being attacked by this dude.
It really does, yeah.
Totally. But then it shows you like later what happens, and kind of a like even has flashbacks to the other sections of it, and you realize that she's been the bad person the whole time.
Yeah.
She's super evil. But I found myself at the end of the movie, I'm like, I wasn't like pissed off about that.
No.
I wasn't like, man, they're messing me around. But I'm like, it was fun. It was a fun ride.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way. So even if you know everything that's going to happen, it's a really, really inventive, unique way to show that. And I know that a lot of movies have shown like the narrative out of order, but just somehow for some reason the way they do it here is it's really fun. It's really
It
good.
was it reminded me very much of Quentin Tarantino. And I
Yeah,
know that
that's a good point.
a lot of the comments that I read on Letterboxd were very Tarantino.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not the only one who picked up on that, but the fact that it is one of my favorite, because you don't ever really see that. You don't see the out of order
Mm-hmm.
chapter. It also slightly reminded me of um what's the heck is that movie? The House That Jack Built.
Yeah, it
Like
did.
the because of the chapter kind of
Mm-hmm.
order, or the segmented kind of order.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really enjoy, and you also didn't know when a chapter was going to end. So it's like they build this tension, and then
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, we're going to move you back in time,
Right.
and now we're going to move you forward in time." So it was they played around with time
Fantastic movie.
very well. Yeah,
And then I saw Mr. Crockett, and I think I've texted you, I'm like, well, watch Mr. Crockett right now.
dude, so
It
good.
was so good. And then I watched Caddo Lake, which is a new one just came out. 3.5 stars on that one. I would not call a Caddo Lake a horror. It's almost more sci-fi-ish.
Okay,
And it's not scary, but it's a good kind of a mystery thing. And I liked it a lot. I mean, I liked it, but anyway, then I watched Brothers. It's a comedy with
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage and Josh Brolin are twins,
Okay,
and and then Glenn Close is their mom, and Brendan Fraser is the guy who he's like a prison guard,
what?
and he steals the show. Like
Brandon, of course he
Brendan
does.
Fraser is so freaking hilarious. I mean, the whole thing is funny. The whole thing is really good. But
That's on Prime, isn't it?
correct.
I watched Peter on Hot Ones. That's my
Okay.
only association with the movie Brothers, is that he was there to promote that movie.
I had a lot of fun. It's a fun movie. I mean, it's good. Really good. I'll watch it again. And I watched Halloween Kills, unfortunately, and then I watched Evil Dead Rise again.
I have water in my mouth. I just took a drink when you did that.
And I'll watch Evil Dead Rise again because I watched Halloween Kills, and I had to watch a good movie after that.
Oh no!
So,
Oh man.
I
Okay,
just for some reason I'm like Evil Dead Rise is almost becoming like a comfort watch for me. I don't know why.
dude, is it like the new Hereditary / Midsummer?
I
Is
don't
it?
know.
I mean, that thing is
But
obviously going to replace those two movies. They're
yeah,
flawless, but
the Evil Dead Rise is so freaking good,
it's so good.
and I mean, like some of the best lines ever. Like, "Mommy's with the maggots now."
Yeah, you
It's
text
like,
me that, and I'm like,
yeah,
that is a good line. It is a really good line.
yeah.
It is shocking when she grabs her ponytail at the very beginning and like rips her scalp off. Like that.
Holy crap!
I
Holy
watched
crap!
it the other day. I don't think I wrote it down. I did also watch that the other day. And that opening scene is that might be one of the best opening scenes. Top 10 opening horror scenes ever
That one,
made.
along with the Slender Man, the Empty Man.
The
You seen
Empty
the Empty
Man.
Man,
No.
dude?
What is this?
Okay, the Empty Man is a movie. It's kind of a cosmic horror thing. But the it's kind of become famous in some circles because the first 20 minutes of the opening like kind of has very little connection to the rest of the movie. There is a connection,
Okay.
but it's like people are like, can I just have more of that first 20 minutes?
So
It's so much better than the rest of the movie. But
the first 20 mintes is better than the entire rest of the movie.
oh yeah, yeah,
Okay. Yeah, because you rated this movie a 2-star movie.
right. Because
So because the other 50 minutes of the movie is terrible.
I probably need to watch it again, but it's more like the other. Yeah,
Okay, well, I will watch at least the first 20 minutes of the movie The Empty Man and report back.
so good.
Okay, I'm going to add it to my list.
Yep. But that's what I watched for the week.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and I've been watching. Like I said, I've been doing a rewatch of Dexter, and other things. Like we've been watching Only Murders in the Building. Have you seen Only Murders in the Building?
Never.
Dude, it's on Hulu,
Yes.
and it's
I know who's in it. I just have
right.
not. I've not
Steve
seen
Martin,
it.
Martin Short,
Yes.
and Steve Martin. Come on,
Steve Martin. Come on.
and what's
I
the
would
other
say the
name?
one and only, but that's not true.
Yeah, but anyway,
I did
so-
want to see
so-
their quote unquote one man show, whatever it is, like
Mhm.
that play or musical or whatever they were doing.
Two-man.
2-man show, exactly. That's why I put in quotes, but you can't see that through the audio. And yeah, I did. I missed it. It came to like Columbus or came to Cleveland or whatever. I missed
Yeah,
it.
you can see it online. It's good.
Oh,
Anyway.
That's the other thing. They freaking video all of that stuff. There's no way that they don't video all that stuff. So come on, you mean to tell me that you can't?
You can't see that performance of it probably, but you can see a performance of it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, just make all of that. I think that they should, because there's no way that they don't record them. I think that they should make Broadway musicals on digital.
They do a lot these days now. Yeah, like Hamilton.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Make, maybe not to that level, because Hamilton is its own kind of thing.
It's on force.
Yeah, and so, but original cast, because they do record that stuff. They do,
Right.
They do film it. Just release all of that stuff so people can purchase the original cast recording, or the original cast performing the Book of Mormon or
Right.
Wicked or whatever the case is. Like, but I don't, because I know that they record those.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you recording it? Why? If you're not going to release it to public and you're not going to make money off of it, and I understand
Maybe it's
that
like
that might deter people from going to the theater. But it's the idea of Broadway is big. It's larger than life. No way that you're going to see ticket sales dip down because people got to go see.
Yeah, because seeing it in person is always better.
It's significantly better because I can watch somebody's lives. I can watch somebody's stand-up special, but going to see them live is a very, very different thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Anyway, that's my Broadway rant.
Yep.
Also, I don't want to drive to New York. Just freaking show me. Show me. I'll pay $20 to watch, or $50. Make it $50 and I get to own it. Whatever. I don't care. I do care. I care a lot.
Well,
anyway.
How about we move on into talking about the movies we were assigned?
Yes.
So I think I'm on first this week.
I believe that is accurate.
As opined earlier, I watched the movie Halloween Kills.
Yes.
Zach, are you familiar with Dora the Explorer?
I am.
Okay.
Though I have never seen an episode.
Okay. Have you seen clips?
I know, yes, the general premise of Dora
so this is less
the
about
Explorer.
The premise. Yeah. But when so if anybody has seen it out there, and so there's a podcaster I listen to, and I used to listen to a lot. He refers to, his name is Merlin Mann. He refers to this as the shouting TV show, the shouting show, the yelling show, I think he says, because everything that Dora says is like, "Hey, Boots, what are we going to do today?" Or, "Oh, no, it's over the mountain." Or, can you eat this? All the, it's like everything's kind of like shouted.
Yeah. We got to get the kids' attention. So
correct.
Come on. It's a child's television show. Come on, Merlin.
So this Halloween Kills, I'm going to deem it the shouting movie.
Okay.
The yelling show.
Yeah.
Because
it's a children's movie, so you have to shout.
There is so much yelling in this movie, Zach.
I need to go back and rewatch it now that you say
everything is yelled. So the subtitle should be "Small Town Hunts Down and Tries to Kill a Mentally Disabled Man." That's what it should be called.
Halloween Kills should be retitled.
Halloween Kills, like subtitle. Small Town Hunts Down and Kills Mentally Disabled Man.
So not synopsis. You're going not that because that's a synopsis, right?
I guess it's a synopsis. Yeah.
But you're like, we should add this to the title. Okay. Because that's true. So I guess that's exactly what happens.
Take this. Okay. Yeah. Good point. Not a subtitle. That's a synopsis.
I want a full. Nope. It is the subtitle now.
No, hold on. Halloween Kills, disabled people are bad. No, it's bad.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That doesn't.
No, anyway, it's true. Mob mentality wins.
There you go. Yeah, I'm trying too hard to pull a joke out of there that's just getting problematic. Anyway, so I start up the movie, and I need to quit watching the opening little credits where it shows like the little animations of all the things, all the people who are involved.
Yeah.
Because every time I see the Blumhouse thing, the movie immediately loses 2 stars for me, and it's got to earn it back because I am getting less and less impressed with Blumhouse stuff. It's just
for real.
It's just all so trash and derivative, and I don't know. It's just like a lower level thing. I don't know. I'm trying to be like elitist, but I am a member of the A24 club. So.
Oh wow, yeah, wow, man. Full uppity snobbish over here, dude. Pinky's out and everything when you said that. Jeez.
What?
Not Dr. Evil.
So I wrote down in my notes, I'm like, apparently the writers don't know how people talk because the dialogue in this whole movie was not how people talk at all in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
They talk all flowery like I wrote a couple things down. The guy said I thought it was my fault. I was lost in my own regret. Nobody says I was lost in my own regret.
Nobody says that.
Nobody says that. But you just got to see the movie so okay, first of all, it's worth watching. I gave it 2 stars because it's not a good movie, but it's not a good movie, but it's worth watching. So I have a lot of problems with the movie, but it's a decent like Halloween movie.
I love that you're completely floundering to justify. You're like, it's like you backed yourself into this corner. We're like, I gave it 2 stars, but everybody should watch it. And then you're like, now I'm going to try to justify that somehow.
So I didn't say everybody should watch it. If you like Halloween movies, watch the movie. Zach liked it. He gave it 4 stars. But
I did enjoy this movie. It was problematic.
Zach identifies with the mentally ill person. So
I 100% will always side with the mentally ill person. Yes. He's in the room right next to me.
But throughout the movie, so it picks up right at the end of the 2018 Halloween.
Correct.
And first it does kind of a flashback to
one of the best flashbacks I've ever seen in my life.
Original movie back in the 70s.
Yes.
Really well done flashback.
That's the timeline, yes.
Right.
Out of the 5 timelines of the Halloween franchise, this is number 5.
This comes from the original.
Yeah.
So it picks right up there, and in the end of the 2018 Halloween, they had trapped Michael in this basement cellar thingy, set the house on fire, and they're like, we got him. Jamie Lee Curtis is in the hospital, but she's like, finally killed Michael, and everybody's like, sure did. And then there's a guy who is remembering back, like older man, he's remembering back to like when he could have shot Michael back in the day, and he didn't.
Right.
Because the doctor like stopped him or whatever.
Dr. Loomis, yes.
Yeah. This idiot. And then
yeah.
But
just a passing comment.
Right. So the plot, I get it was fine. The plot, but then it turns out, oh, surprise, Michael's not dead.
Yeah, because the fucking fire trucks.
Yeah, the fire trucks.
I think I said the F word and also freaking all at the same time. I wanted to say freaking, but I think also I wanted to say the F word. Anyway, go ahead.
No problem.
That made my mouth feel weird saying all of that. Oh my gosh, dude.
So the thing, like, so is again, so yeah, like it devolves fast into the entire town suddenly is insane and they want to kill him. like in a heartbeat. Like this one dude is like,
yeah,
Michael's out. Oh, let's kill him. And then everybody's like chanting, evil dies tonight. Evil dies tonight.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my word.
Yeah.
And then
yeah, all over karaoke. It's all over karaoke, by the way. That's how the mob starts, is through karaoke.
Right. And then there's one guy who all he like lives in the house that originally Michael lived in back in the 70s. All he does the entire time is scream, do you know whose house this is? It's like,
yeah.
And then when they're chasing this guy who they think is Michael, who's an escaped mental patient.
Correct.
But they think it's Michael, like without the mask. And the Jamie Lee Curtis and her daughter and granddaughter just constantly scream for like half an hour, that's not Michael.
Yeah.
And then
no one understands. No one can hear them.
Right, because they're all screaming, evil dies tonight.
Well, they're in the middle of a crowd. So like they're in the middle of this mob, which is in the hospital. Like if there's a time and a place to have a mob start, it's not in a hospital. Those people are already working 12-hour shifts and dying. They're trying to live.
Right.
So deciding to have the mob start, like directorially, deciding to have the mob start in a hospital
makes no sense.
A wild choice. Start it anywhere else in the town. How about the town square?
Well, they're like, we need to have a mob, and Jamie Lee Curtis needs to say some stuff. Well, she's in the hospital. Let's just do it there. We got this hospital for another couple hours.
Dude, it's crazy. Yeah, we need to keep Jamie in the movie somehow because we're gonna bed rid her, or however you say that. And so yeah, it makes plot logic doesn't entirely make a whole lot of sense. But yeah.
Anyway,
also cameras are movable.
Right. Then and the guy, he keeps like screaming, he's infected us all. And I guess that's supposed to like explain away the insanity of the townspeople, how they've gone from just normal townspeople to suddenly, like, they literally are a bloodthirsty mob who just wants to kill this guy.
100%.
And they're really over the top insane. And that's the thing about this movie. It starts hot, and it's like, if you like draw a graph of the energy of this movie, it's just like all the time up. Just, it's like hockey sticks to the top and it stays up all the way.
Well, I wouldn't say that it starts like, because it does start at the top. My take is like, it instantly dies as soon as he jumps out that window. The mob fully dissipates. Like all of their craziness fully dissipates when he jumps out the window and splat, and there he is. And they're like, all right, I guess we're going to go home now. Like, so it ramps up and it stays crazy through half this movie. And then all of a sudden, cliff dives to nothing when they realize, oh, this wasn't Michael. We should have been a little bit more conscious of.
But they still go insane about like when they like find, like, we got to find him now, you know?
Yeah. It's nuts.
I mean, to keep someone's attention, etc., a movie kind of needs to kind of ramp up and then like have a, down part and then like a thing at the end, the peak. Anyway, It was too much all the time, especially with everybody yelling constantly yelling.
Yeah.
And then they and her granddaughter was absolutely insane. Like, Michael's about to stab her and she starts screaming, do it. Like,
yeah.
It's
like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
And it part of it's, it's slasher tropes, etc. But I get it. But anyway, and then so they finally corner Michael, and after he's like killed tons of random people, and
I love the nurse getting shot. That might have been my favorite kill. Genuinely, that might have been my favorite kill. Because it's such a stupid kill. He kicked the door open and her wrist turned and she blew her own brains out.
Right.
I went, as soon as I saw that, I went, no.
it is hard.
No, that's
It,
not the way that you die. That's so stupid.
well, like pretend you have a gun in your hand
Yeah.
and then turn your hand like toward you.
Yeah.
That's hard to pull a trigger. It's not like that's what happens when you pull the trigger. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you would have to fully get like your wrist would have to full, and I guess you get hit in the hand with but also the logistics of
Right.
timing it so perfectly.
Well, and
I
the
was
angle
like,
of pulling the trigger is not. It's hard to do when you're in that direction. Anyway.
it's crazy. It was wild to me, and I was like, she deserved to die because she's an idiot, and also like, shoot, just
I am glad that like the daughter died because she was just an idiot, and then
she's a whiny little baby.
Did the granddaughter finally end up dying? I think she did.
No, granddaughter didn't.
Granddaughter, okay.
I don't know.
But they have him cornered and they're like beating him and stuff. And it's obviously because they got to have Michael later. Why don't they stab the dude in the head or cut his head off? I mean,
it's simple.
Bloodthirsty enough to just beat a mentally disabled person. Just cut his head off.
Well, also like number one, not all of the townspeople were there, which is why I said the whole thing disappeared. Okay. There's so many people, so many, the whole town. And what riles them up is like, hey, for 40 years, this guy's been terrorizing our town. Time out. No, he hasn't. No, he's been in an insane asylum for 39 years.
Right.
So shut up. Go to therapy and shut up. And I don't feel sorry for saying that. These are fake people, okay, in a fake movie. And you just whine. We survived one night. And we're gonna whine about it forever. Shut your I just want to beat the crap out of that guy with the baseball bat over the bar. It's so ridiculous. Yeah, for 40 years he's been terrorizing this town. So we're gonna gather everyone up once the one crazy loon built her bunker outside of town once she gets attacked because we have this shared traumatic experience, Timmy. And, dude, yeah, okay. I might give this movie a smoking hot turd. This movie is garbage. This movie, because it is this. I understand what they're trying to do, but I also think like beating Michael with an iron, like that plugs into the wall. Beating Michael with an iron is not going to work.
No. Also,
they did shoot him like 7 times. They shot him a bunch of times. I don't know how many times, but they did shoot him. The supernatural elements of Michael Myers does not make logical sense within this particular timeline.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's like, why is he supernaturally able to like withstand anything?
Yeah, I mean, and you really did. Because how did he show back up at the house to kill Jamie's daughter?
I don't know.
That's a great question. Yep. How? Supernatural. You mean he got beat up by a mob of people, which a normal person would, and they all took turns, gang up on him, and
he did turn on them all, and he slaughtered them all basically.
Yeah, but also, like, I don't understand that either. Like, why did you stand by and watch your neighbors one at a time get killed? Jump on his back and twist his head off. Like
it's like with the beginning when the firefighters, he goes out and he slaughters like a dozen firefighters.
Okay, that was pretty awesome.
It was awesome, but like you just mean to tell me that he kills a firefighter and the guy looks over and sees his buddy dying.
Yeah,
and he just stands there and like it's the one at a time. He just stands
there. It's the one at a time thing.
And like they're like, oh, now your turn. Go ahead.
It doesn't. That's the thing is that it doesn't make logical sense, and maybe it does in the sense of like realistically, your body would kind of maybe freeze up in that tense kind of moment, but also first responders take their jobs pretty seriously.
Yeah.
And not just pretty seriously, like they are a camaraderie of people. So the
Yeah.
fact that they literally in this movie just one at a time watch as everyone he just goes down the line and just butchers everyone and gets
Yeah.
away is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And
It's a bit
to me
much.
it doesn't paint first responders in a very good light because I'm like, also I understand you have
Yeah.
this trilogy that you've sold Jason Blum, so you have to write it. But also one of the writers is what the heck is his name? Oh my gosh. Eastbound and Down. What the heck is that guy's name?
Burt Reynolds?
No. Oh my gosh, what the heck is his name?
Scott Teems, Danny McBride. Danny McBride.
Danny McBride, who is genuinely
I didn't know that.
one of the most
Huh.
He's one of the funniest guys.
He's funny, yeah.
He wrote this same guy wrote one of my favorite series on HBO, the Righteous Gemstones. Yeah. And but he's also a writer of this trilogy. Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And that is the thing that blows my mind about this movie. That is the only thing that does not make logical sense. Is that how is this good writer writing this thing so badly? Especially ever since everyone loved the first one from 2018. Everyone kind of reveres that one. So,
well, and they're trying way too hard to make the movie all philosophical and meaningful or mystic or something,
right?
Because almost every single thing that Jamie Lee Curtis says, all these monologues she has, are totally like esoteric and like expansive and like philosophical and like. It's a dude who wants to kill you. I mean,
also that doesn't logically make sense to me. It never has. Like, why is he going after Jamie? I don't know the answer to that.
Because he didn't get her the first time. I mean, there's not like a connection between Michael back in the day and them, is there?
Listen, I need to go back and rewatch it because I don't know logically why.
Was it the same house that he grew up in? I don't know.
Oh man, it's just crazy to me.
Anyway, 1.5 stars, which is for me, which is I looked up all the other, IMDb 5.5 out of 10. The tomato meter, reviewers 39, audience 66.
Yeah,
which was surprising to me.
Uh-huh.
And then we had Letterboxd as 2.4 out of 5, and people liked it more than I did. It did great at the box office, so I don't know.
Box office ratings, though, like don't paint the full picture because you have to pay a ticket to go see the movie, but you will turn that $7 to $12 ticket into, well, the movie made $13.4 million, so therefore it was successful.
Right?
No, people hated it, but they had to pay the ticket.
Right.
It just means that nobody went back out to the box office after seeing the movie and whined so much that Cinemark gave them their money back.
It means that they ran to the theater to watch it before any reviews came out.
Yeah,
before they talked to their friends.
Which is exactly what happens. Like people want to see that kind of stuff, and so they're gonna go to the theater to watch it. So it's not a good. Also, sometimes critics are wrong. This movie did annoy me. The fact that it did have something to say about mob mentality and all of that, like because it didn't need to. It's also the fact that it died at the end. Yeah. Like it just died as soon as he jumped out the window. The mob went home, and I was like, no, you freaking ding-dongs. Michael's still out there. Let the guys scrape this guy up off the sidewalk, and you go take your bats and your whatnot, your torches and your pitchforks, and go find the real freaking Michael. Like, you stupid numbnuts. You whine about having this shared trauma for 40 years, and then you miss the mark once. You miss the mark once, and you're like, I'm going to give up.
Yeah.
Idiots. Absolute idiots. Yeah, 1.5 stars, Steve. That makes sense. That makes logical sense. I think we beat it up enough. I might go back and change my review now. Like, that's not 4 stars. This is a smoking hot turd candidate right here.
All right, we're going to move on to yours.
Are you going to watch Halloween Ends? You have to at least finish it.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to watch Halloween Ends.
Okay, good. If you don't, I'm going to assign it to you. Like, next movie. Like, the next movie. You have to go watch it. You have to watch how it ends.
I will totally do that.
Yeah. Just for the completion of
100%.
What's going on. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to yours.
Sweet. All right, Steve. The movie that you assigned me this week is the 2000 classic, TheCell. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know where my notes are. What is happening with my life? And yay, we're no longer editing. Because I did write Halloween episode, turdies. Oh, it's right here. Here we go. Okay. So this movie, like I said, is from 2000. Why can I not find stuff? 45% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's literally the green splat. And 57% audience score, which is not much better. Upturned popcorn bucket.
Wow.
3.2 out of 5 on Letterboxd, which is about as good as it's going to get.
Yeah.
And 6.4, though, out of 10 on IMDb, which I thought was a little interesting. Yeah. The IMDb, or no, the Letterboxd synopsis is, enter the mind of a killer. A psychotherapist journeys inside a comatose serial killer in hopes of saving his latest victim. Okay. Fine.
Why not?
Why not? I have...
And why not J-Lo?
And also that too. I have some notes on this movie, and it's not necessarily a breakdown of the movie as much as it is just this one. I chose to go the route of just observations throughout the movie. So as things would kind of what I did. Yeah. As things would come up, I just wrote them down as this made sense. This does not make sense. Spoiler alert: a lot of this movie did not make sense. Okay. First, Vincent D'Onofrio did a crazy good job in this movie. I won't say that for Jennifer Lopez, and I probably won't say that for Vince Vaughn. Probably won't. I think I texted you about this. Vincent D'Onofrio's chained up orgasm was a bit much. It's a bit much. Okay. Is unnecessary to the plot of this. And if you've seen this movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I've seen the movie probably 5 or 6 times, and I skip past that every single time.
It's wild to me that you've seen this movie 5 or 6 times. It's wild to me that you've seen this movie that many times. Okay. Because I watched it once, and that's enough. That's good. I'm good with not watching this movie again. The woman getting in her blue unlocked car, or the woman getting in her blue car. So she comes down the elevator or whatever. Mm-hmm. She grabs the pepper spray out of her purse. She walks to her car. She has the keys in her hand. She unlocks the car. Time out. Why doesn't unlocked car make sound? It shouldn't make that bloop bloop sound. That's the sound when you lock it. So the fact that you made the sound, and this doesn't make any sense to me in any movie, because this thing has happened in several different movies, and I don't understand it. Because I've never heard somebody in the Walmart parking lot unlock their car and it goes bloop bloop, but I have heard it go bloop bloop when they lock it.
The things you get hung up on always
I know.
crack me up.
I know. Welcome to the circus. So first, she unlocks her car, right? She has the key fob. She bloop bloop. She unlocks her car. But then she gets the key and puts it in the door and unlocks the door. And I go, time out. You just unlocked the car. It made the bloop bloop sound. Why are you unlocking it with the key? That doesn't make any sense. She then gets in her car and backs over this dog. Fine. But she dies, okay? She gets kidnapped. She dies.
She doesn't actually back over the dog, though.
She doesn't probably even hit the dog.
She does.
She thinks the dog. She thinks because
it shows the dog goes and lies down. Yeah.
Well, also, how did you not see that dog? How did you not?
Right. That's what she's thinking. How did I not see the dog?
Pull forward. You're allowed to pull forward. Just don't back up. Put the car in D and drive forward. Anyway, because F that dog. Anyway, keep going. You pull out your pepper spray because you're in a parking garage and you want to survive, and then you get out to check your dog. Shut up. You deserve to die. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. I have therapy in 2 weeks. We'll figure all of this out.
You might want to move that up, buddy.
I might. This movie, I didn't realize this movie was a prequel to the movie Longlegs. It's a crazy prequel. It's a crazy prequel to the movie Longlegs because Vincent D'Onofrio is basically Longlegs. Okay, he's at least giving Longlegs to me.
Okay,
he's at least giving Longlegs. Detective Ramsey and Novak are wild and extreme names, but of course they are. This is a 2000s movie.
Yeah.
So they have to come up with FBI agents' names that are just rock
Ramsey
hard.
and Novak.
Ramsey and Novak. It's exactly. It's this toxic masculine. I literally wrote, dial it down. I just calm down. I think I said that out loud, and they were like, Detective Ramsey and Novak are here, and I'm like,
there is nothing about this movie that is dialed down.
Nothing about this movie that's dialed down. Okay. Vincent walking around the kitchen, opening up the cupboards like a weirdo is wild. So that's just what I wrote down. Because he gets in a bathtub. He has this freak out. I don't know what happens. A seizure, maybe, but it doesn't look like a seizure. He's got brain problems. You find that out later.
Right.
You don't know it in the moment. You just see him flailing around, whatever. Then he gets out and he's walking around his kitchen naked, and he's opening up these cupboards, and he's just like, and he's opening. No one saw that except for you, but he's walking around the kitchen acting like a freaking weirdo, and it's just because you don't know what's happening.
Right?
You're like, what is this? This guy is wild, and I think it's because of that I give Vincent his flowers in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
What a great actor!
Very good. Dude knows how to be creepy.
Every character is literally dialed to 13. Everyone is dialed to 13, except for Jennifer Lopez. She talks like this in the entire movie.
Jennifer Lopez should never be an actor.
Well, that's also true.
Because everything is super calm with her.
She talks so softly. I literally wrote down, a special microphone was invented specifically for J-Lo in this film to be able to pick up her voice, because apparently talking like this is the most attractive thing, or blah, 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 whatever. Why is she talking like this? Because everyone is just
idea.
Oh, we're going to get this guy. It's all so dramatic. And Again, you're right. Every character is dialed up except for J-Lo. She is this soft-spoken. At one point, they show her the video. They capture the guy. He goes into this comatose state. And they lay it all out. The agents lay it all out for everyone who works at this particular place. And they're like, here we basically have 24 hours to capture or to find out from him where this other girl is, or this automated system is going to. And I'm like, time out. Your brother is schizophrenic, and he is smart enough to make like it was one of his personalities, a freaking genius who knows how to turn an old dilapidated barn into an automated system where that's crazy to me. Anyway, Hollywood magic, whatever. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, like the guy who chains himself up above naked women on through chains that he's got on his back is smart enough to create a system, like a Raspberry Pi system that
there are really smart people who are really messed up.
I'm not taking away from that. I'm simply trying to draw a line between the way that he acts is this wild character, this wild person, because of this virus that is laying dormant in his brain and is causing all of these.
Yep.
That he got in utero, he got in the womb, this virus. How? Science. Please tell me. Science. Neil deGrasse Tyson, if you're listening, and we know that you are, I need to know what the heck is going on. You're the only one that I trust to be able to tell me.
Definitely a made-up thing for the movie.
It seems crazy to me.
Yeah.
That this baby got a virus in utero that lay dormant until, timeout, his baptism. What? Steve?
What's the movie trying to say?
I don't know, but it's not something that I want to listen to. This movie is as soon as they made the connection between so they do the MRI. I'll get back to J-Lo's part in a second, but they basically are just like, oh, he has schizophrenia, but he doesn't have just regular schizophrenia, because that would be too lame. It'd be too lame. Just give him regular schizophrenia. He's got to have this Walter schizophrenia or whatever they call it. It's some W name.
Yeah, it's not a real thing.
And basically what it is this virus gets into his brain and lays dormant until this a traumatic experience. And we come to find out that the traumatic experience was his dad baptizing him, but holding him under the water, which is not how baptism works.
Some people do that.
No, I reject that. Dude. In the name of Jesus, I reject that. Okay.
Seriously, there was a guy I knew that would help old timey. He would hold people under the water for a long time to make them really feel it. You know?
That's crazy. I guess I have seen people go so they hold the back of your head and they put the little rag over your face, which doesn't make any sense to me because it's water.
Well, it's water. They don't want to get their snot on their hand.
Just do this. Plug your own nose. Anyway. And then they dunk you and go, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And then they bring you up, right? Which is still a crazy line. That's still a crazy thing to do. Anyway. So that's the traumatic experience you come to find out. And then also his dad was just this massive dick. But anyway, J-Lo, they pitch her this idea. Everyone is on board. Except for the one girl who's like, I'm going to let J-Lo decide. And J-Lo literally says, I feel for this girl who's in this tank and she can't get out and she's about to be immersed in a bunch of water and die. But I think that this is a bad idea. And I'm like, what? That's called self-preservation, you freaking hussy. J-Lo from the block would never want to do anything like
J-Lo.
this. Like, get in there and save some. You mean to tell me you have the chance to save somebody's life, and you're like, sure.
Meh.
You're like, oh, but she goes, I have compassion enough. I have empathy enough to go, I feel for this girl who's about to die, who you guys are looking for. Mm-hmm. And I also love the fact that the police are not like, you're doing this. Why are you asking? We need your help. Don't ask. Be like, yeah, we're gonna get this done. So
well, consent,
whatever. Shut up. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Like, so yeah, this movie is it genuinely is just a crazy movie. I will say this to end on a positive. The visuals of this movie. I wrote this down. The story is not as great as I would like it to be. I had high hopes going into this. I was slightly disappointed because the story is kind of boring. Like, when we're not in these psychedelic dream sequences, everyone's kind of a dud as far as the dialogue is concerned, as far as the story is concerned. Visually, this movie is psychedelic and contains bad CGI, but it's era appropriate. Oh, it's terrible. But it's era appropriate, so I gave it grace. It's like, especially like the sequence of like going into this mind meld kind of thing is very
that's what you mean,
hallucinogenic. It's
it's weird that you're going into
it's like looking in a kaleidoscope and just twisting it. You know what I mean? It's not bad. And the he has that purple cape that's like attached to him at one point.
Dude, that is epic.
And he comes down and his mouth is black and his eyes are black. But when the curtain is being pulled off of the wall, it's CGI and it's bad CGI. But I'm like, oh, well, it's fine because we're also in somebody's mind and who cares? And this movie was made in 2000, so it's era appropriate. So no points are deducted because of the quote unquote bad CGI. Yeah. The points are deducted because the story is not necessarily great and the characters are wildly larger than life, and J-Lo is not a good star in this movie or probably any movie.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give this star a 2.5, or I'm going to give this movie a 2.5. Totally mid. That's as high as I can give it. I don't want to give it a 2.0 and call it like, well, it's a movie, because this is it's fine the way that it is, but I don't need any more of it.
Right.
Yeah. The baptism connection was the funniest. I laughed a lot during this movie.
Yeah. Well,
a lot more than I wanted to laugh at a quote unquote horror movie, which it's kind of not, but whatever. It's fine.
It's totally a horror movie.
But it's okay. If in the realm that Indiana Jones is a horror movie, so is this one. Okay.
Dude, they're in his, like, did you see the horse get sliced up?
Yeah, that was stupid. That was crazy. That was wild. That was his heart was still beating.
It's also based on an actual artist does that.
Yes. It reminded me very much of 13 Ghosts when that guy gets sliced in half by that door.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the front half falls down, but the back half stays up. And I'm like, if the front half's falling, why is the back half not falling? But also that was a 2000s-ish movie. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Cutting
this
people
movie
in
is
half in the 2000s was apparently a real thing. That's a real.
well, there's a lot of horrific stuff in the movie, but I liked the reason I like it so much. Partly, it came out in 2000, and I remember Christy and I watched it a few times because it just caught us somehow because the visuals were just insane,
Yeah.
and the when the I can't emphasize enough how insane the visuals are in the guy's brain,
Yeah.
and those are honestly the best parts of the movie, because you're right. JLo kind of has one like expression on her face the entire time.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, no matter what is happening, she's like, "Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, it's like she
are you
doesn't want to
okay,
be
little
there.
boy?"
She,
Yeah, I
yeah.
can't figure it out, but Vincent D'Onofrio's performance is amazing,
Yeah, exactly.
and when he plays those like the weird demonic sort of versions of himself
Mm-hmm.
in his brain, I just love how he did such a good job of those. But I love how the in his brain stuff is so uh just not just visually amazing, but just the concept of the things in there. It's very dreamlike, you know. It's like
Yeah.
things don't really connect; they don't really make sense. But and it's very I don't know. It's just for some reason I like it. And I think it's partly I 4.5 starred this thing just because it's partly nostalgic for me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of the first like really edgy like horror movies that I watched
Mm-hmm.
as a youngin, and I mean, one of the reviews kind of sums it up perfectly. That it's like it says, "As lovely as it is, deeply stupid."
Yeah.
Just the concept of going into people's minds like that. It's kind of a dumb thing anyway. But anyway,
It's very
I
sci-fi in that, and I gave it grace.
mhm,
I gave it grace because of that. Because they start off with J-Lo riding her horse through the desert, right?
right,
And she's having a conversation with this boy, and you're like, what the heck is going on? Because she gets off the horse and then looks back at the horse, and then the horse becomes a statue, and you're like, what the heck is going on? And then also you walk miles and miles and miles, and why not ride your horse? I don't understand what's happening. And then you finally get closure when she comes back into reality, and you realize, oh, this boy is in this comatose state, trying to get him to not be
mhm,
fine. There's the premise. But then it shockingly jumps to Vincent's
mhm,
timeline. Like, and but yeah, I mean, the only real acting that J-Lo ever does is in these dream sequences. When
yeah,
she is in real life, she is a
yeah.
dud, and yet she is supposed to be the best for the program. And I'm like, then act that way, like
Well, yeah,
show it on your face, bro. Like, come on, what's happening? So
yeah,
that's why I said the story. And also the fact that every character in real life is this hyperbolic, larger than life version of, which is probably a trope of the 2000s anyway.
yeah.
Um, but in this particular movie, it didn't work. And also probably just where I am,
Mhm,
things were already not kind of lining up, and I was looking at it through a funny critique, like a silly, goofy
mhm,
critique. And so, yeah, the visuals of this movie, when they are in those quote unquote dream esque mind sequences, are fantastic. Um, but the story, when they're in real life, I I didn't entirely get that vibe. So yeah, I just gave
yeah.
it a very mid movie. It's totally 2.5 out of 5. It's not a bad movie.
Right,
It's not a bad movie,
but it's not great.
but it's not a great movie. It's not worth
And I
being
can I can
solidly average a 3.0, you know?
and I can admit that.
And it's also not bad enough to go 2.0. It's a bad, like
Right.
it deserves. But yeah, you're a product of this era of movie.
Yeah.
So I fully understand the nostalgia idea of the
Yeah.
4.5 or whatever you gave it. Like that makes full
I
sense.
think if I saw this movie the first time now, I think I would still like you said, visuals stunning, etc. But be like, yeah, there's a lot of problems with this.
The poster of this movie does not make sense either, because the the poster is of bad J-Lo, and bad
Right.
J-Lo is 1% of this movie.
But it's a lot cooler looking than like boring
It's the
Jello.
only time that she's really acting. It's the only time that she's
Right.
so I just don't understand. I don't understand. But I guess you have this box office draw of Jennifer Lopez, and so of course you're going to pair her with those striking visuals.
Mm-hmm.
But it would have been better to paint Vincent that way. The poster should have been Vincent, not J Lo.
But the box office draw thing, you know.
I
I think
understand,
that's
but
a key.
Vincent is a way better actor in this movie, and I think everyone who
100%.
watches it will agree. Vincent is a way better actor in this movie because it looks like he at least took half of a class. Half of a class. It looks like J Lo just walked off. She walked out of the recording studio onto the
Yeah.
movie set and did not read the script at all.
Well, hearing
But
about
Vincent
her,
at least read the script and understood what he was going to do, because he was amazing in this movie.
if he wasn't so creepy and evil, I think that I wouldn't enjoy this movie because this. Thinking about this, it's not only one of the first really creepy horror movies that I saw, but or like intense ones, but it was one of the first examples that I was ever exposed to in my sheltered little like conservative Christian bubble of a truly insane and evil person.
Yeah.
You know, and like
Mhm.
in like in media, and so that's I think it just caught my imagination, like, and it's like embedded in my imagination as like a cornerstone in a lot of ways. And a lot of things I end up finding myself comparing it to this in some ways, like dream sequences and or like inside brain sequences that like when you're inside someone's mind type thing. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. But the director of this movie just goes by Tarsum, and like I think I mentioned when I assigned this to you, every one of his movies, it's just like the visuals are just amazingly just something else. They're like over the top amazing.
Yeah.
But and this lines up with that. So anyway,
Like I
well,
said, it's not bad. It's just the story.
it
I
was
wanted the
interesting
story to be
hearing your
one thing.
thoughts.
I wanted this movie to be one thing, and it kind of wasn't that thing. But the thing that it wasn't bad.
Right.
It just
I
that's
get
why I
you.
said the poster doesn't really make sense, because like that's what I was going with. I was going with that this would be a not a oh, we help comatose patients by having this futuristic but set in real time therapy wherein we go into their mind and help them deal with their trauma. And like I wasn't expecting that.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, it was interesting hearing your thoughts,
Yeah. It was fun.
as always. Moving on to next week's things.
Moving
Sound
on.
good? Okay. I am going to assign you a movie.
I am ready to be assigned a movie.
2020. Bloody Hell. I've mentioned this movie in the past.
Bloody hell.
Yep.
2020. Dude, you 4.5 starred this movie. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I may need to back it off. Off. It's been. I kind of need to. I think it was like like the high after the movie.
I understand.
But I've kind of got to give it another watch. But it's a fun ride.
Bloody hell. Fantastic.
I honestly don't recognize any of the people in this movie from anything else. But that's neither here nor there.
Great.
So yeah.
Okay, bloody hell.
So that's it.
That's what I want to watch.
It's showing. I see it's on Tubi, Plex, Hoopla for free. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
I have.
Do you have Hoopla?
I do have Hoopla
From the library.
Yep, from the library.
Nice. You know what's up?
I do.
It's a secret.
My library's dope.
Yep.
We got Libby and Hoopla.
Dude, same. Do we live in the same city?
We might.
Wow.
We might live in the same state. You might be my next door neighbor. Who knows?
Huh.
I've never been outside.
Wouldn't that be hilarious? Like,
that'd be awesome.
Two people meet each other. They're lying about where they live for whatever reason, and then they end up being like neighbors.
This is a movie. I feel like you're telling me the plot to a horror movie that we're.
Or is it a love story?
Well, it turns out to be. It starts off as a horror movie and turns into a love story.
Aw.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, I've spun, and Steve, we're going to travel back in time to the year 1992.
Okay.
Cell phones were all the rage, and so were beepers. And I'm pulling that out of my butt. I don't know that, even though I was around in 92.
Beepers were a pretty big deal.
I am just pulling out random facts. But 1992, a movie directed by Bernard Rose. This movie is a classic horror movie.
Bernard Rose.
That is on your watch list.
Okay.
It's called Candyman.
Oh, yes. I've seen the new one.
Yes.
But you're talking the OG one.
So this is the OG one.
Okay.
Candyman, 1992.
Okay.
Tony Todd. The first review of this movie is Tony Todd's voice is the eighth wonder of the world. That's the first review on Letterboxd.
He's good. Yeah. Okay, so the Candyman OG. What year did that come out?
92.
Gotcha.
Motorola was all the rage.
All right. The Razor phones.
Yes.
Oh, those are cool.
Well, hello, Moto.
Hello, Moto. Cool. Well, I'm looking forward to that. I've been wanting to watch that for a while.
Yeah, there you go. Well, now you have an opportunity.
What? I mean, spoiler. What is better, the new one or the original one, or is it like they're just like apples and oranges?
Well, here's the deal. I mean, we're talking about. Okay, I don't know how to answer this because Jordan Peele is attached to the remake, right?
Mm-hmm. And I thought the remake was really good.
The remake is really good. Like, I'm going to give the first one its flowers. I'm going to say the second one is the better one.
Okay. Have you seen like Candyman 2 and 3 or whatever?
I have not. I've only seen the first one.
Right. Sweet. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Like Tony Todd. Good guy.
Cool.
Well, let's see if we can like end this at the right moment.
Of course, yeah. let's see if we can do this.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is what actually the ending is one thing that I can easily throw on music whenever it's easy.
Great,
but
enjoy your week.
Okay, you too.
All right, listeners, that's a wrap for another episode of Horrors Yet Unseen. Thanks for joining us.
And we'd love for you to become part of the conversation. Just drop us a voicemail at 1-216-202-5495 or email us at horrorsyetonunseen@gmail.com. And keep up with the latest by following us on Instagram. That handle is at horrorsyetonunseenpod. We'd also appreciate it if you like and review our show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Your support means a lot to us. See you next time.